Dude, we're live, pal.
Oh, like yeah. All the way live.
Kev. No Matt tonight.
No, Matt hates guests.
Matt hates us, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, that's what I meant. Us. He loves guests. He hates us.
Yeah, he's not even dropping in, which is weird. Like normally, yeah, I hate guests.
Oh,
but
you do. You loathe them.
But I always make my way onto the show.
That's right.
Fuck boy.
Oh.
If I can call him that.
I wouldn't.
He's not even gracing us with his presence at all tonight.
Well, I mean, what time does he get out of work?
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter.
I mean, if it's not feasible for him, then it makes no sense.
Feasible fucking Matt.
Feasible Matt. There was what were the three nicknames I gave him? Party Time Matt, Millionaire Matt,
Nappy Time Matt,
Nappy Time Matt, Cat Nat Matty or Cat Nat Matt, and now we have Feasible Matt.
Feasible Matt. It's not unfathomable how feasible he is.
Well, it's not. Apparently it's not feasible.
No, infeasible, unfeasible. Is that the word?
No, I don't think there is an un for feasible, or an in.
So it would just be not feasible.
Yeah, I think.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure it's just not feasible.
Yeah, because it's not like it's inferior. Like you wouldn't say not ferior, but it doesn't work for feasible.
Well, inferior is. I mean, there is no ferior. It's just the word is inferior.
Yeah. So like if you're good, you're not like if you're above,
it's superior,
you're not inferior.
It's superior and inferior.
You're fucking so smart, dude.
Come on, man.
I fucking completely forgot about superior.
Yeah. You're better or you're worse. There's no inferior.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the way it is. Well, for better or for worse, you are here tonight with the two-man army, and we've got big, strong Mims joining us soon. And Kev, I really have nothing else planned tonight.
Well, this should be great.
It always is. It always is.
I got a top 5.
Ooh, do you?
Oh, yeah. I actually have 2 top 5s.
Oh, shit. You're going to get angry at me all night now.
Why?
Because every time I say something, you're going to go, no, Tony, no.
Well, no, these ones are, the first one shouldn't be too difficult. The second one could be difficult.
Difficult. Suckled? Incult? Something like that?
Inferior.
Oh, boy. Oh, shit. Well.
No, but I'm excited. I think they're very in tune to the holiday weekend, I think.
Well, that's cool. Well, we hope everybody, that's a good point. We hope everybody enjoyed their 4th of July shenanigans, chicanery. Hope you guys didn't miss us too much yesterday.
I did nothing.
No life. Oh, good. Turn up your mic. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
there we go. I think it's better.
No, well, it's because I'm closer to it. I have it far away, but when I usually have it close to me, it's usually loud. And Matt usually says it can pick up from like here, but I guess I have to be here.
I don't know. You just sound so much more quieter today. I don't know why.
Well, I'm evolving, Tony.
It could be me. Nobody's complaining that they can't hear you, but so we're good.
That's right. Good. Oh, look at that. The chat's already blowing up. We got a lot to give them today, Tony.
Yeah, I think we do.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll figure it all out next. Yeah. What do we say? All that and more?
On the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast.
There you go. The following is a presentation of the Shining Wizards Network, broadcasting live on rantiumradio.com and available on all podcast platforms and at shiningwizards.com. Follow us on social media at Wizards Podcast. Check out our merchandise at merch.shiningwizards.com. Do your Amazon shopping at amazon.shiningwizards.com and become a Patreon supporter at patreon.com/wizardspodcast. As always, we thank you for your continued support. And now, enjoy the show.
This is Gino Guts of the Taboo Crew, running WrestlePro Rupshot, and you're listening to the Shining Wizards Podcast. Fucker.
Rolling in my two-man army.
What's up, fuckers?
Where did cheese go?
It's a stupid fucking question, Kevin.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Hey, this is Moose.
God, that was disgusting. Shining Wizards rule the world.
are tuned into episode 592, a special 2 for Tuesday delightful deliciousness.
What are you saying?
I have no idea because it's a Tuesday, Kevin. And you know what that means? You're listening live to the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast, available on all podcasting platforms, live on the rant for ntmradio.com, live in video format on the FaceSpace, on the Twitter, on the Twitches, on the YouTubes. Unless we get banned like we got last week's episode taken down, but we'll get into that in a minute. Kevin, fuck all that, because it's time for us, me and you, the two-man army, to do some wrestling talk.
And talk about wrestling.
How was your weekend, man? Did you enjoy yourself? Holidays?
We're not going to do the gimmick.
Oh no, it's just the two of us. But if you really want me to take it back, Tony,
KJG, got to do it.
There you go. There you go.
Can't neglect it. Very important.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's all right. You're doing a fine job.
My bad. So how was your weekend?
Uneventful. I did nothing.
No barbecuing?
No barbecuing. Not a damn thing.
No parades. No
parades. No festivities. There was the look. But yeah, just went to the hat and just hung out. Yeah, that was it.
Did the parade come down the street while you were at the hat, or
there is no 4th of July parade in West Orange?
Oh, I don't even know if there's one in North Arlington either.
There's fireworks that night, which is a whole nother can of worms that happened.
Okay, so is everybody in your town nice and they just enjoy the fireworks the town provides, or is everybody all of a sudden a pyrotechnician and there's fireworks going off all over the neighborhood?
It's every day, 365, 24/7. There's fireworks going off.
Now, is it gunshots or is it legit fireworks?
Well, that's a great question, because
sometimes if I hear noises coming from like the direction of Newark, I sometimes wonder. But
same thing with me with Orange and East Orange.
Well, there you go.
Or even in West Orange, because there was actually shots fired at the gas station I go to the other night.
While you were there?
No. I hope, thank God, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it happens. Most of the time it's fireworks, though. And it's literally, there's like no rhyme or reason for them. It's like October 4th at like 8:00, all of a sudden fireworks just go off.
Now, are they getting ready for Halloween?
Well, see, I tried to pick a month that didn't have anything in it. And I kind of failed at that.
No, you're fine. You're good.
But I went with a date that was far away enough from Halloween where I didn't think you would pull that out.
Well, I didn't mean to be a dick. I thought it was a great thing that you pulled October 4th.
Yeah. So like and there was a huge like stampede at the fireworks last night too, because some idiot kid said that I know in light of the tragedy that happened, in Highland Park, but someone said that someone was firing shots at the high school. And so apparently everyone like just stampeded and got the hell out of there. Yeah, right. Like, because at work I hear all these stories, and apparently it was just a big debacle. A lot of people from neighboring towns come in and they just make things not fun.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
it really is.
But I didn't go, so I don't care. Jimmy cracked corn and I don't care. So I mean, it would have sucked if that actually did happen, but it didn't. So count your blessings.
No, I hear you.
What about you? What'd you do?
Went to go visit Grandma on Saturday. Hadn't seen her in a while.
The Gma.
Broke bread with her. And then Saturday night, on the way home, I got a text from a friend of mine from high school that I hadn't seen in a long time. And he's like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Pool's open. I'm having people over." So went down to, oh God, I can't even think of the town now. Freehold? Was it Freehold?
That is a place.
Yeah, I want to say that was the town. But yeah, it's Freehold. I'm almost positive.
The Mott's box said October 4th is William Mercier Jr.'s birthday, and I guess it's a feasible Matt's anniversary.
Is it? Wait, he got married in October?
I think so.
Huh. We were at the wedding.
Yeah,
I don't remember this.
I don't remember the wedding. I know it was on a boat.
Yes, that much I remember too.
That's about it.
Well, in case you missed the beginning of the episode, Big Strong Mims will be joining us shortly. This is a makeup from a couple weeks ago. Unfortunately, Mims suffered some injuries at Always Ready, but we'll talk to him all about that in a few minutes.
Poor Mims.
Yeah, it was a bummer, man.
Big
I ain't
hurt
gonna lie.
Mims.
Big hurt Mims.
It's not good. It's not what you want.
No, if it was a nickname, I would go with it. Big
No, I'm
Hurt
definitely
Mims.
not going to call that. I'm not going to say it to him. What are you, out of your mind?
No, but like the Hurt Lock and the Hurt Locker and
The Hurt
you know,
Business?
yeah, same shit, right?
I love the Hurt Business. I miss the Hurt Business.
Yeah, me
That
too.
was such a good group.
Yeah, and they took it apart so quickly.
Did you see they had a table for 3 on the network, and it was really, really good. Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and Bobby Lashley.
And they didn't want to kill each other?
Oh, I mean, it's not real, Tony.
You're such a dick.
It was actually really, really well done, and they're all really they're all really like smart guys about their characters and what they wanted the Hurt Business to be. So if you haven't watched it, I do recommend you check out the Table for 3 with the Hurt Business, and they're doing another one, except there's like 5 people on it.
Now, I see. I don't even get updates like as to these new shows coming on Peacock anymore. Was this really recent?
Yes.
So have they introduced any other new episodes, or was this like the first one?
I think this is like the latest one that they've done.
Okay.
So
but you don't know any of the other ones?
What, the tables for 3?
I mean, like the recent ones. Like I don't mean like the whole history of it.
No, I think this is like they're doing one with BSK.
Really?
Yeah, Taker, Godfather, Henry Godwin, Rikishi, and I want to say Phineas is there too, but I'm not sure.
That's not exactly a table for 3.
No, it's not. It's 5 by my count.
Yeah.
But they did a table for 3 with 4 before. And but go out of your way to watch the table for 3 with Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, and Cedric Alexander. Really, really fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I've kind of fallen off, and I really do enjoy those extra shows that they put together. Man, I so wish they would bring back Legends House too. I still
haven't watched the Jarrett on Austin yet, though.
I haven't either. Oh, I started it actually. I did start it, but I haven't gone back to it.
But
There's
it's
so much that I gotta get to.
I can't imagine. It's like he's got a podcast now. Like every week I listen to it. So like, how much more is he going to tell me on that? Then, although Austin is a pretty good question asker, so it should be good. I should probably give that a shot.
And plus it's more fun hearing Austin, because like look, Conrad's good at what he does,
but dude, Conrad hasn't been on a show in 3 weeks, like any of his shows.
Well, he's probably busy putting this whole Ric Flair's Last Stand together or whatever it is.
That's true.
But, speaking of missing out on things, I really hope you're not missing out on NWA because our guest is here. Big, strong Mims. I love it. Mims, how are you tonight, man?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm feeling a lot better. I'm healing up, feeling good.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how's the recovery going?
Pretty good. I'm out of the sling. Obviously, I don't have my head wrapped up. I mean, I had a little bit of a concussion, a dislocated shoulder, all types of fun stuff in that match. But I feel a lot better. If anything, I'll be clear from the concussion about probably like 2 weeks. The shoulder, I'm back in the gym now. I'll be fully healed in just a little bit, just rehabbing it.
Was the shoulder something that you had suffered before, or was this a first-time dislocation for you?
Honestly, the injury is a little bit old. It kind of goes back to my football days. So back in high school football, I actually dislocated it the first time. And so with this, we already had a match earlier where I was already having some elbow issues, and we kind of ended up going right back over that, unfortunately, at Power Trip 2, and ended up aggravating that. So it was obviously the idea of him to go for the arm this time, and then whenever it actually happened in the match, that was a complete accident. I was actually coming off of a shoulder bump, just a big shoulder tackle, kind of like Cena. And then when I got up, I just, that doesn't feel good. That feels like a pop. Something doesn't feel good. So I thought I had like an injury similar to like, I don't know, Crimson's tear for his ligaments in his shoulder in his rotator cuff. And I thought that was kind of what was going on there. So I was kind of freaking out in the middle of the match, thinking it was going to be a lot worse than it actually was. Luckily, it was just a simple dislocation. So it was more of just popping everything back in place.
With the concussion, sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah, go ahead.
With the concussion, how long were you, or are you still feeling symptoms, and what kind of stuff were you going through with that?
Well, to actually like play everything back through the match, and then I'll get to the symptoms that I still have right now. Whenever it first happened, it was literally the first time I had hit the mat in the entire match. I was doing some punches on the top rope. I was on the second, and I was raining down some punches on Tyrus, and he pushed me off. Whenever he pushed me off, I guess I just really wasn't ready to feel it. So whenever I went back, I ended up bumping a little bit high and tight, and I wanted to roll through, but I guess I banged my head first. Right when I rolled up and tried to find my place back in the corner so I could orient myself again, I noticed I couldn't really hear the crowd anymore. Like it sounded very muffled. Like it sounded like I had my hands over my ears. I could still hear. And for the rest of the match, I could only hear myself and I could only hear Tyrus the entire time. But it was kind of like I was in autopilot. It was really weird. So I could talk about stuff. I could say things in the match, but I couldn't say anything that was going on in my head. It's very weird to think about, but it's kind of like I was reliving a dream, like I was just having deja vu, and I was only allowed to do exactly what happened in that dream and what I saw in that match weeks ago when I played it through my head. So I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, something's wrong here. I don't know what's going on, but something's wrong. And I was like, I can't control my body. It's just doing it on its own. And so I wanted to say like, oh man, I'm hurt. I think I should stop. Let me go talk to this ref or something like that. And I just couldn't do it. It's like I was trapped in the match itself. And so I got through the entirety of the match. And then by the time I got into the back and I'm looking around for like an EMT or something like that to check on my shoulder, and then obviously to figure out what's going on with my head, because I'm like, I still have this weird thing going on with sound, and I'm getting this flash on the right side of my eye to where I can't see through most of my right eye. And I'm like looking around, I was like, I've been in this hallway all day, the hallway right outside the locker rooms. And I get there and I'm like, I've never been here before. This confuses me. My best friend comes up to me and he's just like, hey man, are you okay? And I was like, I'm good. I just don't recognize this hallway. Like I've never been here before. This is weird. I was like, I know we've been here all day, but I've never been here before. This looks so strange. I'm looking at everything here. I end up accidentally walking into the women's locker room and I'm like, what? I'm just totally confused. And then finally they sit me down with the EMTs to go and check me out. Cause at this point, like I'm still running on adrenaline. So everything is still feeling fine. Like the shoulder, I really don't feel it as much anymore. And, with the concussion syndrome, like the concussion symptoms or whatnot, I wasn't feeling them as much until I went and lay down. They were like, oh, well, you might be good. I go and lay down, I'm like, let me get some cold water or something like that. And that makes it 10 times worse. I started slipping there. That's where I started feeling like, oh, I got to go to sleep. My head hurts so bad. I can't even see straight. I feel like my eyes are going two different directions. And then finally they called me an ambulance because I was going to need one anyways. I'd stopped feeling my arm. I couldn't really feel anything else except for my head. And so, yeah, I spent like a good 6 hours in the hospital. It was a very late night. It was a very fun night. It was terrible. But yeah, now it's just, I've started working out again, because they say it's good for healing up a concussion. When I get in there, I'm doing stuff that's light. If I go a little bit too hard or I go a little bit too heavy, I definitely feel it because I started getting nauseous. And they told me that was pretty normal. They were like, yeah, it's going to last for about 15, 20 minutes every time it happens. That's just when you know you're going too hard, and just to really take it easy. I'm used to doing a lot more. The whole big, strong Mims thing, it's not a gimmick. I am a relatively big guy, but also a very strong guy. So I'm used to powerlifting. That's typically how my workout works. So doing what I'm doing now is a very big change. And even then, still being told like, hey, you got to take baby steps is still weird to me. But I mean, it's my brain. I can't sit here trying to go as hard as I want and sit here and damage my brain. I don't want to have holes in my brain when I get older, or constantly have these issues. And It's kind of just learning to sit down for about 4 to 6 weeks so all this stuff heals up instead of having this go on for months. The feeling sucks, so I'd rather have it just for a few weeks than the next couple months or even years.
I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you. It's smart. And before you joined us tonight, I actually had a chance to watch the match again from Always Ready. And yeah, you could see it very early on when you took that bump. Even on commentary, they kind of knew that something wasn't right. I think Tim Storm was the first one to say, like, looked like you came down on your head. But the weird thing is watching the rest of the match, it's like you still see flashes of you like trying to get in there. Like you actually got Tyrus up for a body slam at one point, you know, like some things were a little bit slow motion, but then some things it was like a burst of like, you know, you just trying to fire up and get back into the match. At that point, while you're going through it, I know you say you're in a daze. How instrumental is the referee? How instrumental is Tyrus in like getting you to get to that next step to kind of get you to get, you know, to refocus and keep moving on with the match?
I mean, honestly, it was always making for sure with a lot of my training. I really learned for sure this time. I mean, I've always thought that like with training, it's always been ingrained in my head, but I knew for sure it was definitely ingrained here because a lot of those things that happened in that match, because obviously I was coherent somewhat, but not fully coherent. A lot of those things were just instincts from the training that I've had before through the Tried and True Academy. So definitely like one of the biggest things was always keep your eye on your opponent. No matter what happens, keep your eye on your opponent. Make for sure you focus on where they're at, what they're doing, read their body language, everything like that, so you can understand exactly where you're supposed to be at the match and what you're supposed to be doing. And that was kind of the main concern that I can remember. Like I said, it still felt like I wasn't in control, but it felt like my head was always on swivel to find out where Tyrus was at. And then everything else was kind of just an instinctual fight thing. I mean, it's not the first time I've been hurt. It's not the first time I've been injured in anything. I've had a long history in sports. I've been playing sports since I was, in elementary school, from baseball to football, all types of stuff. And so this was something that was kind of it wasn't something super duper new to be able to take control whenever something goes wrong. And then obviously talking to that ref, I really couldn't do as much of it as I wanted to because, again, like I said, I wasn't in control. I wasn't even in control of what I was saying. So it was very important that he took care of me and made for sure that I didn't get hurt any further. Though apparently nobody knew I was hurt. Nobody knew I was hurt. A lot of people thought that it was the shoulder thing, and obviously the concussion, just because the fact that I still went through the rest of the match. I mean, most of the time when you hear about a concussion, you hear how bad they can be. You don't get up. Like, and even myself, dude, I thought all concussions were like level 3s. I thought every concussion was how a level 3 works, which with a grade 3 concussion, that's usually like a full on knockout. Like you're out and you're out for a while. For me, I was never out. I was aware the entire time, but I definitely had a grade 2 concussion because the symptoms lasted so long. I had to go to the emergency room, all that jazz. So it was still kind of just, it was very integral to training that I had to get me through that situation, especially because, again, you see that concussion happen so early on in that match.
Yep.
And so even being able to work the rest of the match the way that I did, instead of just being like, okay, we're done. I literally can't do anything else, or just flop around like a fish. It kind of all goes back to that training and how great of a referee we had, and then also the people that were involved in that match, how great they were to make for sure we got through the rest of the match. Though I was pretty bad.
Yeah, you can see it when you had that, like you said, the shoulder tackle, and then I noticed you put your hands down, you tried to push yourself up, and after about a second, you were like, "Nope, this isn't happening." And you went back down, and then you could actually see your shoulder at that point, and you noticed it. But yeah, the first time when I watched it, it's like you said, I thought you were just selling the shoulder because that was the story of the match, just selling that arm, and Tyrus was just working on the arm the whole time. Now I got to ask you. So you're concussed, your shoulder's dislocated. Tyrus has to know at this point, and yet he goes back to working on the arm when you get up. Did you realize that? Like, was it hurting more, or was it just kind of on autopilot at that point?
Well, see, originally there was the idea of I did have some elbow issues in the first place. That's why I came in wrapped up.
Sure.
And so there was the idea to kind of work that. It was just that, unfortunately, And I guess, fortunately, if like some people are really into the story of like, hey, this guy is fighting back, he's fighting for his life, blah blah blah. The shoulder thing happened within that, but obviously I'm concussed, so I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, hey, my shoulder's hanging off. So it was kind of just going with the plan as normal, and not understanding, hey, we're also in some pretty bad territory here. I think that through everything, I got very lucky, just because, I mean, you saw me get dropped a couple more times after the initial concussion, then also still working the arm afterwards, thinking like, hey, we're still working this whole bandage here or whatnot. And that none of it got any worse. You know, talking to people after the match that were in the know about it and letting them know a little bit more about what was going on, even talking to Billy, I really did get lucky, even talking to the EMTs, talking to the doctor that basically saved me while I was in there. Yeah, they were basically putting over how lucky I was that with the match continuing to go on after the initial concussion and then also the shoulder dislocation, that I was extremely lucky that I didn't make it any worse. I mean, I've seen some bad dislocations in my life. I mean, you play football for even a short amount of time, you're going to see somebody get something dislocated. And I was very lucky that mine was just a simple, like, hey, bite down on something, we're going to pop this back in. And then for the concussion, it was as simple as like, hey, you're going to be sitting around, rolling around with a very, very bad headache for the next 5 hours, but we scanned your brain and you don't have any serious bleeding, any contusions, any like brain damage, any skull cracks, anything like that. You purely just have a very bruised up brain in the front and the back. So definitely very lucky when it came to all that.
You know, unfortunately, we watched the pay-per-view and we picked it. You were my pick to walk away with that television championship. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But, you know, given the circumstances, completely understandable. Is this back on your list, on your to-do list, to give Tyrus some payback and take that belt from him? Because, listen, all roads are pointing to television champion Big Strong Mims. We got to get there at some point.
Yes, so that is definitely on my list. I mean, even if, you know, by the time that I do come back, because unfortunately I missed the entire season of this, to pull back the curtain only a small amount, we do pre-tape everything here. So we usually tape that over the course of a couple of days. And so with me being out for at the very least a month, just for the concussion, you know, obviously I'm going to miss the entire season. So to spoil, I guess, the entire season of NWA Power, I am not a part of it at all. I am sitting at home with a bruised brain the entire time. But, you know, obviously in my mind, there's going to be the idea to have another match with Tyrus, just because, again, with one arm down, being fully concussed, still something where I kind of took it to him in that match. And then also, you know, there was still some elements of cheating here and there. So it's not exactly this super duper clean victory that some people would like for somebody to have, to be like, hey, this is definitive. You don't need to worry about me anymore. I beat you. It's clear. It's set in stone, my guy. I didn't do anything. There's no chicanery, you know. And then also on top of that, the whole TV title thing. Like, I've said this in interviews before, and I do mean this. The TV title is probably my very favorite title. In professional wrestling, I would say probably my top two. And then in the NWA, it is my absolute favorite title. I love the design. I love the history behind it. And I also love a lot of the people that carry that same title. And I want to be one of the people that are added to that list of people who carry that title, especially even the list of new people who've carried that title in this reboot of the NWA. You've still had some great guys carry it. Even though it's a very short list, you've had some absolute greats carry it so far. So I want to be a part of that, to be able to say that, hey, I'm one of those greats, or that I'm on track to be one of the greatest NWA wrestlers of all time. I feel like that's something I have to check off on my list. No matter how many times I have to carry that belt, but it's something that's been a big milestone for me that I want to hit. And though right now I don't have it, and hey, to me, I thought I would have it by now. I thought it was mine. I thought it was my claim. I thought that was my moment. But you know, it's not a dream deterred. It's a dream deferred. So defer this to another time. The revenge on Tyrus, defer this to another time. Obviously, when I'm more healthy, and then obviously when the moment's right. I mean, it's got to be a big moment for the fans. It's got to be a big moment for myself. It's got to be a big moment for everybody involved, and a big moment for the NWA overall. And we'll get that moment. That's something I think that we're going to have this year. It's not over. And then also 2023 is going to be an even bigger year for the NWA. For some reasons I can't exactly explain too much yet. There's going to be some very big things happening in 2023, and just mark my words on that. Whenever it does happen, just be like, oh yeah, Mims already said there's something big happening. Yeah.
So just to kind of piggyback off that, up until this unfortunate, double injury and stuff like that, how excited were you about your run and how things were going for you in NWA?
Oh, I was really excited for it. If anything, I was building up to something big, and I had a lot of people in the back in upper management kind of on my side about everything. And I still like to think that everybody's on my side up there. I always have great conversations with Billy when it comes to what we're doing in the NWA and kind of our visions for it, just because a lot of our vision aligns with what we want for the NWA and how we see myself progressing further, or at least the end goal of kind of getting my character to work a little bit harder in the NWA and what we want to see from that character in just even a few years. I think with the support that I do have and with that showing throughout that run, I think that still the sky's the limit. This is just a little setback, and this whole run that we've had up to this point is just indicative of more of what's to come. So, and like I said, I think this is still going to continue on. It's going to still be a continual upward rise. We'll just see how it works.
You came up through Tried and True, Anthony Mayweather's group, and just curious, when you were first starting to break out in the NWA, one of the first things you were involved with was this whole thing with Jack Stain, trying to get you and Mayweather against each other, and he didn't want to do it, but then you were like, "Come on, we got to do it." I think there was probably a little bit more of a story there, but it was cool that you were just like, you know what, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to take advantage. And that was kind of like, all right, it had to come to this, but Mims like shot out the gate. He got that win, sneaky as it was, but now you were off and running. So I guess let me take it a step back. When you got into wrestling, what made you decide like, hey, this Tried and True Pro Wrestling, this is the place for me? Was there something that set them apart from anybody else? Did you know anybody that was there before you got started in wrestling?
A lot of it was basically because I was one of the very first students. Like that was a conversation me and Crimson had years before we opened the school, about a year before then. I had been working for him for about a year, since about 2017. The first show that I had showed up and started working with him on was it was Art of War 3. So he had already been running the promotion here in Clarksville, Tennessee for about 2 years at this point. And I've been watching every single show. I would come to every show. And the weird thing about it with Crimson was that, like, I used to hear about this guy all the time. All the time. So people around town would be like, oh, you should meet this Crimson guy. Oh, you like wrestling? You guys are so similar. You're going to enjoy this guy. He's crazy. He's super cool, man. You'd love this dude. And never got to meet him. Like, it would always be just like passing moments. We wouldn't get to see each other, either at the shows. It would be like passing glances, or I'd see him across the room. He'd be the only guy staring at me from all the way like hundreds of yards away by the locker room or something like that. And then finally I got to start working for the guy in 2017. And so he kind of made a promise to me that he was going to get that school opened up and that I was going to be one of his first students. And this was after a few months of working for him. So a couple of shows, that show being my very first one, getting to meet Jeff Hardy. That was pretty cool. And I only got to have a 1 minute conversation with Crimson after that show. Just tell him I appreciated him. Let me be out here. Let me even work for him for free. Because, I mean, hey, some people have to pay just to work for somebody. Yeah. But it was kind of a promise he made to me at a pre-show before one of our other shows. I think it might have been a show that I think either Bobby Lashley was on before he went to WWE, or it might have been one where we had Jeff Jarrett headlining. And he had kind of revealed to all of us that we were going to have a school opening up. It was going to be in a few months. It was going to be a little bit of time, but we were going to have a school open up. And so he knew my intentions with professional wrestling. He already knew that well in advance. We've had that conversation plenty of times before. And that's why I made the decision to absolutely stick with Tried and True. There was nobody else I really knew there. I had family and friends that had worked for Crimson. They kind of got me into Tried and True in the first place just to work security. But getting that promise from Crimson, and then also him, like, once the school did open up, him telling me that, like, you know, hey, as long as you're still with me and you stay loyal to what we have going on here, I'm always going to take care of you. And he's kept that promise. At every single point, he's always taken care of me, whether it's through tough love or just straight up, like, representing me in the best way possible, because I continue to represent him in the best way possible. I let him know that no matter what he needed, I dropped everything to help him out. And that's always what it's been in professional wrestling. I've always understood that I need to sacrifice and show loyalty. And I still, to this day, I'm always going to be loyal to Crimson, because I owe this man everything in my career. I wouldn't be here in NWA if it wasn't for Crimson. I would have met the people that I've met in the business if it wasn't for Crimson. I wouldn't be able to do what I do right now. Training wouldn't be going on unless it was for Crimson. I mean, honestly, if Crimson wasn't around, if he never did what he did in life to end up here in Clarksville, Tennessee, sort of the school that he started, and then bring me to the forefront as one of his star students, and that's a shoot. That's a shoot. If we're talking about works and shoot, I am his star student. I've been there since day one, since they opened April 2nd, 2018. I've been there since day one. I've been excelling in everything they've had so far. I've been through every single trainer we've ever had available, from Jeremiah Plunkett to Crazy Steve to Tom Latimer, with Anthony Lucasio there, with Jack Stain coming in for seminars, with Nick Aldis coming in and teaching a bit here and there, with Jerry Lynn coming in and teaching a bit here and there. I've been through anything and everything there is to do with Tried and True, and I've been there since the beginning of the academy, at least. And so, it's a kind of loyalty that's deserved. And honestly, if you really want to know, if it wasn't for him being around, I might have moved to Houston. I might have been at Booker T school. That was going to be my second choice, was just to move up there. I was going to move with my uncle over there in Killeen, Texas, and drive back and forth to Houston every single week just to get trained by Booker T. But luckily, I got to stay at home. I got to stay with my family, and I got to be a part of a great program. And I've got to do something that, honestly, in my mind, I don't look back and regret not going to Houston. I feel like I'm even more successful than I possibly could have been by sticking with Crimson, by sticking with that loyalty, by making those sacrifices towards what I've gotten so far and what I'm going to get, only because I've dealt with Crimson.
Gotcha. And I think overall that decision's paying huge dividends for you. You got a great position right now in the NWA. You're there with the guy that, trained you, worked you in the business. So, I mean, the sky's the limit, once the head clears up. Just to let everybody know, we are talking to Big Strong Mims. You can follow him on Instagram at really_Mims. Want to make sure we get that out there. I got two questions for you. You triggered one before when you were talking about the television championship.
Yeah.
Who's on your short list of favorites?
My short list of favorites. It's going to sound silly to be talking about somebody who's still so young and somebody who's still getting such a well, they're still kind of building their legacy in the business, but Ricky Starks was definitely one of my favorites. He was a great guy whenever I met him. I've been here with NWA since NWA 70. I've been a part of almost everything that they've done. So I've gotten to know Ricky a little bit. Obviously, we're not super duper close. We're not buddy, but it's still somebody that when I saw him with the TV title, I understood world champion was in his future. And with being on the way to that world championship, I actually saw myself in that same setup too, where I was like, okay, this is kind of like what they had plans for Ricky before, the pandemic hit, yada, yada, yada. Obviously can't do the exact same thing that they wanted to do. But also Pope as TV champion. Pope as TV champion was great. That's not me being biased, just because of the fact that he's somebody who I looked up to for a long time. I used to watch whenever I was younger. And then also he's kind of one of my mentors now, and somebody I can really come to with anything that I need when it comes to NWA. And there's always a great person to come to for advice, but also he had nothing but great matches. He's still one of the top baby faces in NWA, and that's undoubtedly, that's undisputed. And I would say even Tyrus's run as NWA television champion. I mean, I got to give respect where respect's due. I mean, the guy's been the most dominant TV champ of this reboot era. And that's not that's not for lack of people trying. Obviously, that's not for lack of trying. So it's all been very entertaining runs between everybody there. And then also Zicky Dice is just fantastic. I thought Zicky Dice was great, and honestly, at that same point, I could kind of see him being that world champion too, just because his attitude was just made him so punchable. Like, this guy was one of the perfect heels. Everybody knows some sleazy, douchey guy just like him, so it was one of the most relatable heels I had seen. in a long time. And so as a fan of NWA and also as a wrestler there's not really anybody I can kind of count out of this new reboot era that are my favorites. So I'd like to talk more about the present, about the future. So I was just kind of trying to get into more of the favorites of the reboot era.
No, fair enough. And I think you made a great point about Zicky Dice. We interviewed him, I want to say it was about a year ago now at this point, and just a genuinely good dude. Like the stuff that he does behind the scenes, the stuff that he does outside of wrestling, like really, really good guy. And plus, when he came out with the title and he just trash talked Billy and he was trash talking everybody that he was leaving with the belt, and the Pope came out and took it was such a great story, man. And I love Zicky Dice, but I was like, come on, Pope, you got to do this. You got to beat him. You got to take the title from him. Dude, I'm not even joking when I tell you this. You could ask Kevin. I love the NWA, man. I just love everything about the product. I love everything you guys were doing. Like I said, I was hoping for Big Strong Mims coming out of Always Ready, being that new TV champ, but I know that time will come. I know that time will come.
It will. And I mean, hey, I'm a big fan of the NWA too. That's one of the biggest reasons why I work here. I love NWA. It's been one of my favorite brands once I started to get introduced to more of it. So obviously, hey, I'm doing my research. I'm watching a lot of the NWA through the 80s, which is one of my favorite periods for the NWA. Just like most people, it's their favorite period in the NWA. And then also currently in the reboot era, like being under Billy Corgan. I'm a big fan of the show. I still watch every single week. So, some people in wrestling, they get to the point where they're in a major or something like that, and they don't want to watch wrestling anymore. Hey, the main brand that I watch as just a fan, without critiquing anything, just watching it to enjoy the story and be fully enveloped in it, is NWA. That is the first and foremost one. Not even the stuff I do. Not gonna lie to you, I hate watching my own matches. Hate it, hate it, hate it.
We hear that a lot, man. We hear that a lot.
Oh yeah. And I used to think it was weird whenever Coach Tom Latimer, he used to say that. He was just like, yeah, he's like, bro, I don't watch any of my matches. Mimsy baby, I don't watch any of my matches. I hate them. They're all the shits, brother. I don't like them. None of them are good. And I'm like, Tom, like, this is the thing, because I still call him Bram to this day, just because that's how he was introduced to me. But I'm like, dude, you're one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. I was just like, I think it was just a clip of the Monsters Ball match that he had with Abyss and TNA, and that is probably still the most viewed video on Impact's YouTube channel. I think there may be only one other video that's close or above that, and I think that was like ODB's wedding. But yeah, clearly, like, people know how great he is. I mean, the guy got in the WWE. He didn't get into it on a fluke. It's because the guy is a fantastic wrestler, and he's one of the best wrestlers in the NWA right now. He's the best coach I've ever had, just because he's been able to introduce me into a whole new world and get me to the point that I'm ready for the NWA. He's the reason why I was ready for it, is because of his coaching. I was still getting coached by Tom at the time I came into the NWA. The very first episode, we were wrestling each other. The only match I have ever had in my entire life so far that I actually didn't come into it nervous, extremely nervous, damn near shaking in my boots, was the match I had with him and Royce Isaacs on the very first episode of NWA Power. And that's because Coach Tom was in that ring across from me, and I knew he was going to take care of me no matter what. And so, yeah, I guess that's one other thing I kind of took from Coach Tom was the whole one of the two things. The other thing was obviously wrestling through this match with a concussion, because this man, you could shoot him. You can shoot him with an elephant gun or something like that. He's still gonna make for sure he gets through the rest of the match. You can break his ankle. He could have his fingers hanging out of his nose or something like that. I don't know. And this guy will still go and finish the match like nothing happened, and then get to the back and be like, "Oh, brother, oh, messed up, brother. Oh, I'll be all right." Yeah. And so other than that, the other thing that I took away is that, like, I just, honest to God, I hate watching my matches, just because even if they're great, like, people told me, "Oh yeah, you have a lot of great matches in the NWA. Oh, I love this match with you and AJ Kazana. Your match with Jack Stain was so crazy. Oh, your match with Tyrus was so great. Blah, blah, blah. This match was good." And I go back and watch it, and I'm just like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. This guy in this ring, why is he in there with him? I think probably my absolute favorite match I've ever had to watch is between me and Mike Knox, and that includes that promo, because that promo got me enveloped in it. It was something that even me, like watching myself do the promo and go out there and do the match. Like I was sitting here like, yeah, man, I can't wait for me to kick that guy's ass. And still, I watch it. I'm just like, oh, I could have did this. I could have did that. Oh man, I suck. Look at my face when I did this. Oh, I look terrible. So still as a fan, love NWA. Just hate all my matches. As long as if I could just like put the blinders on for somebody else, like imagine somebody else in the match wrestling whoever I'm wrestling, I can watch those matches. But me, I've learned that like even to do it for studying purposes. They say you should watch your own matches to study what you do and improve. Nah. Nah.
So between Bram and Crimson, were you ever prepared for what was going to be this studio format of wrestling, and even maybe when COVID was going on and all that stuff was happening? Were you ever prepared for this brand of wrestling?
Honestly, I think the only person that could have got me prepared for that more than anything was Jeremiah Plunkett, he was my beginner's trainer. So he broke me into the business. He was my very first match in the business. And I was his very first match in the NWA, which is fantastic. But I've always felt like, and I've said this to him 1.5 million times, and everybody shared the same sentiment before he even got into the NWA, that he is the guy that is essentially what the NWA is all about. He looks like somebody who would have been on NWA television in the 80s, and this guy looked like he was a puzzle piece that didn't belong because he was in a puzzle that wasn't the NWA. Once they put him into the NWA, it was like a perfect fit. And so I feel like watching his matches, because I did watch a lot of his matches, he actually had my absolute favorite match in Tried and True Pro. And I told him this the first day of training. I met him at a seminar where we got to experience the few things or whatnot. But when we finally got into training, a few days after we got into it, I was like, hey, man, I'm not trying to be weird about this. And I'm not trying to kiss your butt. But yeah, my favorite match of all time when it came to Tried and True Pro. I actually go back on YouTube and I watch the match over and over again because one of our fans, they went and recorded the entire match. And if you haven't seen it, I recommend you go see it. It's a fantastic match. Or just go find the DVD. Go look it up on like High Spots or something like that. It was a casket match between him and Crazy Steve, another one of my coaches. And they've worked together 1.5 million times. But this match, especially out of their rivalry, I think this was the end of their rivalry that they had in Tried and True. Just chef's kiss. The entirety, all their matches, literally classic NWA stuff to a T. And he is somebody that watching those matches, watching his other matches on the indies that you can get a hold of online, which I still recommend you watching, that is something that got me prepared for the studio type wrestling, because he's literally living that. He is living that character. He's such a big student of the game that a lot of his teachings, a lot of the ways that he sees wrestling is literally straight out of an NWA handbook. So that's the only thing that really got me ready for this type of wrestling, this type of studio atmosphere, would be Jeremiah Plunkett, hands down.
Yeah, he's definitely one of my sleeper favorites. Whenever I see him across the ring from somebody, I'm always like, he's probably not going to win, but this is going to be a good match. He's that good. Like he's like a throwback to the NWA, like the enhancement talent, like he's not just some scrub, he's going to go in there, his stuff is going to be solid. He's going to look great. May not win, but that's okay. Cause I like watching him. I like what he does. Like you said, he's great when he gets in that ring with the NWA. Unbelievable. One other question I wanted to ask you, if we could shift from wrestling, I did some reading that you are also a video game junkie. What are you playing these days?
Actually, I am not even gonna lie to you. I've been playing a lot of the Overwatch 2 beta. Okay. I've been jumping back and forth between that and I was playing the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a while.
What system do you play on?
I'm playing on my Series X right now. Actually, I stopped playing this right before I got onto the call with you guys here. I was playing Slay the Spire. I'm finally I'm just trying to get to the absolute end of this game. I love roguelites. It's a new love of mine. Like Hades really instilled that in me, and then Dead Cells, absolutely just love it. Love it.
I started playing the Ninja Turtles reboot, and my son got me into Fortnite about a year ago. So I've been
Mm.
playing that a lot. I'm better. I'm not great. Like, I'll take a few people out before I die because I know I'm not going to win. I mean, I've got a handful of wins, but they're few and far between. But the thing that kills me is Epic Games bought Fall Guys. You're familiar with Fall Guys, the little bouncy
I actually
guys
just
that-
started playing it 2 days ago.
Oh, dude, I'm
That was
ready
my
to
first time
murder.
playing it.
I'm ready to murder my family. I get so aggravated playing that game, dude.
Yes.
It's so bad.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
It's
so
so
frustrating.
bad. I'm yelling, my kid's yelling. I'm ready to start throwing controllers. And then I realize I don't want to put a hole through the TV. So I'm like, I gotta calm down. It's so bad. So
You know
bad.
what's really bad about it, about Fall Guys in particular? I'm just gonna say this because this frustrated me the other day. So I played a couple rounds of it, and I'm going through there, and I'm doing my best, and I'm usually clearing most of these. And I get to the final round, always get eliminated. I'm like, okay, I played like 7 or 8 games. I don't know why I can't win.
Mhm.
My girlfriend plays one time, plays terribly through the first 2 rounds, and then somehow in the third round ends up actually winning a game for once. Never played this game before. Just, oh my god. Anyways, the game is fun. It's just it makes me want to punch everything.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, I feel like sometimes even when I'm running, like people just bump me, and next thing you know, I'm in the back of the pack. I'm like, how did this happen? Like,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
just no rhyme or reason for it, dude. It just
It's
drives
a
me up the
slippery
wall.
slope. You get hit by one thing, you get off track once, and then like you might as well just turn the whole game off because you're not gonna win after that. There's just no way.
Yeah, and the only reason I was playing was because they have a Fortnite crossover where you have to play 100 games to get an exclusive skin. And I'm like, 100 games. I played 5 in. I'm like, this is going to be a marathon. I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. It was so bad. And it's like, you didn't even have to win. You just had to participate. Every time I played, I get eliminated. I got to start all over again. Oh, it's just so maddening.
Oh yeah, I was doing the Spartan thing or whatnot. I think I'm like almost all the way done with it, and that went a lot quicker than I expected. Because I'm the person that I'll play a bunch of games that have battle passes. Like I've been playing Halo Infinite, obviously playing Apex Legends because that is just my battle royale of choice. And I'm never the guy to buy the battle pass. I'm never the guy to do that. So it was weird to me that the whole like Halo Spartan event in Fall Guys was going so quickly. I was like, this is not how battle passes work. They're usually super grindy. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm kind of upset about the whole battle pass thing with Overwatch 2. I mean, but let me just enjoy the beta, shut up about it. It may not be that bad.
Yeah, I never thought I was going to be a battle pass guy, but like I'm all battle pass with Fortnite. I'm in the Fortnite crew, so every month I get like an exclusive skin. I get the V-Bucks. Dude, it's bad. It's bad. But I play
Oh,
with my
yeah.
kid, you know, like we sit on the thing and we play. He'll play on his computer in one room. I'll play on the Series X in the other room. So we have a good time. But it's
See,
just
that's a great relationship. That's kind of how my dad was with me when I was growing up. That's why I'm like a big fighting game guy, is because my dad, like, he would always come around. We'd play Killer Instinct or we played Mortal Kombat 2 or Street Fighter 2 all the time. And so that was really how I got into him. So I was kind of big into the fighting game community for a good while. I even played Smash Brothers professionally for a little bit while Smash 4 was out.
really
Absolutely loved it. Oh
Dude,
yeah.
Smash
In
Brothers is
tournaments,
cool.
I only played Project M and then Smash 4. Melee was just not my thing because I didn't like to play the top tier characters. And if you weren't playing the top tier characters, you're not going anywhere. This is not happening.
Okay, so let me ask you: is Kirby a good character or bad character? Kirby's the one that I've stuck with. I love using him. I've gotten accustomed to him. I win a lot with him. But is he like he's not one of the characters you should use? Like, is there like a no Kirby thing?
It depends on which Smash you're talking about. If you're talking about Melee, Kirby is one of the absolute worst. When it comes to like, I would say play like Smash 4. I hate going up against Kirby's. It's just because like one of my boys I used to always practice with, and he was in the same like group that we had that I started here in Clarksville, like pro smashers and stuff like that. He'd always play Kirby. I'm a big Mario fan, and I love playing Mario in all of my games. He's usually always my main in every Smash. And for some reason, it was always just neck and neck. Always neck and neck. But people just learn how to play my Mario, especially with his Kirby. And it's just, I hate going up against Kirby. It's absolute worst. Throw the whole character away. Hate Kirby so much. No, he's not the worst. It's just that one guy. He's just extremely good with Kirby. He was the only good melee player with Kirby I've ever seen. I mean, still like melee Kirby's trash. But this is coming from somebody who likes to play Link in Melee. So yeah, I
Really?
mean, that's my I zone people out. That's it. I just set traps and I just zone people out when it comes to Link. Like that's literally it in Melee. I learned that way later on, like when Smash 4 came out, like years after Melee came out. Originally, I only played Donkey Kong and like Mario in Melee, but then once I got older and I got into the pro scene, I was like, yeah, no, just Link and Ness. Link and Ness. If we're gonna try to take things seriously in Melee.
I tell you what, we got excited when they introduced the Minecraft characters, and I was like, I tried to learn them for 2 days, and I was just like, yeah, this isn't gonna happen.
Oh yeah, no, I can't play. I can't play Steve. I'm terrible at him. I haven't.
Actually, like you have to sit there and mine stuff. I'm like, who has time for that? There's chaos all around you. You're gonna actually like pretend like you're playing Minecraft. I was like, nah, it didn't work for me.
Yeah, and hey, I have the same problem too, and I'm somebody who plays Villager. Like, and I'm still like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna spend like half the game like digging up stuff or whatever because I just don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why. I'm just bad at it. I'm just gonna pick Mario and just dunk you the whole time. So,
see, that's all I do. Kirby, and that's it. I don't need to change any formula, man. Dude, I love it when he turns into the anvil and just drops on everybody. Like, I love doing that to people. Just, you see him bouncing back up, boom, done, gone, get out of here.
I mean, hey, he was one of my favorite characters to play when I was a casual, and then like when I started getting to the pro scene, I was like, yeah, I can't play Kirby anymore. I can't just do the simple tricks because everybody knows when it's coming. I think my best friend, who was actually the guy who got me into professional wrestling as an actual possibility, my boy Miguel, he's Migs on NWA television, but he was the first guy I ever played with that was like, yeah, we're taking all these items off. And I was like, whoa, hold up. You're taking the items off. Where your items at? And so this man, he beat me up and down with Jigglypuff, and I did not understand. This is in Smash Bros. Brawl, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. How do you play without items in the first place? And then also, how are you beating me with Jigglypuff? And then I found out that apparently Jigglypuff is actually really good. She's one of the higher tier characters in like Melee. Like there was this guy, I think, Hungrybox, who ended up winning a whole bunch of like different really big Smash tournaments with Jigglypuff and Melee. And I was like, how is Jigglypuff good? And then I'd see like compilations of people playing with Jigglypuff, and I was like, oh my goodness, she is one of the best characters around. Even in Brawl, she's good. And I'm like, I don't understand how I can't beat this like puff of pink. It doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, and that like from that day, this is right around the time me and him became best friends. This is like we're graduating from high school at this point. This is like 2010. I'm like, okay, no, I need to take Smash seriously. I've had my mind open to a whole new world. And I mean, then again, like we could just I'm a gush more about Miguel a little bit. Like this man opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. Like with the whole Pro Smash thing of like not playing with items, which just blew my mind. On top of that, it was I got into Marvel movies because of him. Like I was already a fan of comic books and stuff like that. I was a big X-Men fan, huge Green Lantern fan. But I didn't even know you could go to midnight premieres for movies. So we went to like every single Marvel midnight premiere until I think like we got into like Deadpool 2, and I think that's the first one we didn't watch together. And then the other big thing was he was the kid in school that used to get made fun of all the time because of the fact that he loved wrestling so much, and he kept telling people, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. I'm going to be a pro wrestler. I'm going to be a pro wrestler. And he got into it where he made that promise to himself he's going to be a pro wrestler. He was like in middle school. He went to a book signing for Chris Jericho's book. I think it was for Best in the World. And Chris gave him the advice, go to Lance Storm's Academy in Calgary, Ontario, Canada. I'm assuming that's it. I'm not really too well versed with Canadian nomenclature.
That would be Alberta, Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Yes, that. And so he took that advice from being like in sixth grade. So he's what, 12, 11 years old, something like that, sixth grade. Yeah. And he took that advice, stuck with it, and told everybody, hey, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. Until we were in high school, people used to be like, oh, yeah, that's a kid on the wrestling team. Like, he thinks he's going to be a pro wrestler. Whatever. And so, whenever we became best friends, I kind of adopted that same idea, and I didn't take it seriously. Like, hey, for sure, we're going to do this until 2013. That's what started everything. We made that promise to each other. We're going to be pro wrestlers. We're going to do whatever we possibly can. The rest is history. But before that, another thing that he opened my mind to is that outside of WWE, at that point, I had not watched anything else. Like I had flipped some channels and seen like a little bit of TNA here and there, and I didn't really know what I was watching. I watched for a little bit, but like I never really stuck with it. But I did not legitimately know outside of TNA and obviously WCW. My cousin I grew up with, that he works in the NWA behind the scenes or whatever. He's a big WCW kid, but nobody cared about WCW. That's why they're not around. But anyways, I'm just saying that because he can probably hear me, because this cousin I'm talking about, he's also like my roommate. He's like right below me. Yeah, I didn't know there was anything else. I didn't know anything about independent wrestling. I had no idea about it. My very first show that I go to, this is my first wrestling show I ever went to. I still remember this. And so it was in the Nashville Fairgrounds in the Asylum. It was a show by Ring of Honor. So very first Ring of Honor show. Never even heard of Ring of Honor before this point. He took me out to the show. I think it was like 2011, 2012, something like that. And this is when AJ Styles came back to wrestling, like after his back injury and everything like that. So I got to see AJ Styles wrestle for the first time, and that was crazy. He was wrestling Roderick Strong. I think that's when he broke his neck. I'm not sure, but yeah, no, it was absolutely crazy. I got to see the now Viking Raiders whenever they were in ROH, and unfortunately, I saw the one. I think it's Mike. I think it's Rowe. I'm trying to remember. Like, I'm getting mixed up with their names now, but the one with the long hair, he ended up like knocking out Cheeseburger. It was nuts. I thought he was just selling his butt off. I was like, oh my God, that was the greatest like leg lariat I've ever seen. And then he just didn't get up. I was like, they're really milking this. Like, yeah, wrestling's fake, right? Like, what's going on with this guy? He's like, he doesn't get it. And the EMP showed up, and I was like, man, they're really going into this. This is Greg. And so he introduced me to my first wrestling show. Not only just the whole Smash thing, but also like any wrestling outside of like WWE. Didn't watch Wrestle Kingdom until this guy. Didn't watch Ring of Honor until this guy. Didn't know about anything until then. So blame him for all of this.
We've been on the line with a big, strong Mims at @really_Mims on the Instagram. Mims, this has been an absolute pleasure, man. Video games, wrestling, you name it. I think we covered so much tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you're feeling better. Hope the recovery continues to move forward. Hopefully we see you on NWA very soon, claiming that TV title for your own. Before we let you go, anything you want to leave the fans with? Anything you want to leave us with?
Well, I guess since we were already talking about video games, I mean, really _Mims is not just my name on Instagram; it's also my gamer tag on Xbox Live.
All right,
I'm
going to hit you
always
up later.
need more people to play. Yes, always need more people to play.
Always.
But also, hey, this injury has only slowed me down. It has not stopped me. Look for me to be a part of NWA again very soon. The return is imminent. So the biggest, the strongest one will be back.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. The big, strong Mims. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you in the ring again, brother. This has been a
Thanks,
pleasure.
Thank you so much, man.
Us.
Oh, yes. Pleasure's all mine.
Enjoy the rest of your night, Mims. Take care.
You too, guys. Bye.
Big, strong Mims.
Yeah, dude, that was fun, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I we just kept opening more doors, and I knew he was a video game guy.
That's what we do, man. That's how
he
we
was
roll.
a Smash Brothers guy too, man. That's awesome. He played professionally.
Haven't played a Smash Brothers since the one on N64, the first one, Super Smash Brothers, right? Yeah, it was an N64 vehicle.
Yeah, because then Melee on Wii. I'd have to look at.
But we would play a lot. Like we would play religiously, like every Friday, like between that and like virtual pro wrestling and like.
Yeah, Smash Brothers Brawl was on the Wii. And then I don't even know what the new one's called. I have it on the Switch. I forget what the name is of that, but it was also the version that was on the Wii U, and they upgraded it.
I haven't had a system since like that's not true. I had Xbox 360, but that was just really for NHL and stuff. But
360 is still very playable. There's still a lot of great games you could play on the 360.
I'll probably plug it back in one of these days. Play some NHL, whatever, 2K14 maybe, whatever. That might be it.
You know, when the kids would come over, we used to play the GoldenEye reboot because they re-released whatchamacallit, 007 on, upgraded, different stories, whatnot. It was actually Daniel Craig is the new 360.
Yeah, the guy that doesn't look like a Bond.
Yeah, so it was the story, but it was all like no Pierce Brosnan, and it was all updated with Daniel Craig, which was kind of cool. Gave it a little bit more of a modern look to it. You know,
I feel like Pierce Brosnan is like, I know there's been a million Bonds before, not a million, but a bunch of Bonds before him. But to me, like he was Bond. Like there's no other Bond but Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, the only other one I have up there is Legends, but I know I've got it somewhere. Whenever the kids come over, they take everything out and they just move everything around. These damn kids.
It's meddling kids.
Kev, you want to take a break? I know you were having some problems with your.
Yeah, it's the screen is huge. I can't see like. I don't know if it's like the track. I don't know if like the trackpad has like a mind of its own, but like all I can see on the screen, where like with the wizard stuff in the background, all I can see is you.
You know what? It's probably from the pinch, like the stretch. Maybe like it got stretched out. You can't kind of pinch it back together. Maybe.
I try. Oh, maybe, but the trackpad's not working. So I can't.
Yeah, I know you were having problems with it earlier. Well, you know what? We could take a break if you want to drop out, reset. I'll actually run the commercials so you'll have a chance to like catch up on things.
Yeah.
Will that help?
Yeah, that should hopefully that will help. I'll just drop myself out of this when you do that.
Yeah, and if not, fuck it. We'll just make fun of Matt for the rest of the night and we don't have to talk any wrestling at all.
That'll be great. We got a top 5 coming up.
We got top 5. And Kevin, we've got the announcement who's going to challenge Christian Rocco in Christian's first title defense of the Can You Beat That Championship next week on the show.
And picks to go over too.
Oh, Christ. I forgot. We still have a lot to do.
Listen, it'll go by like that.
I kind of hope so. Oh, you know what? I got to pull up the banner gimmick, I guess.
I can't even do it. I can't see it.
That's all right. I got it here. You know what? I'm going to press it now so I don't have to press too many things at once. So we're still here. But Kev, what do we always say about this time?
Back after this.
We know you love shopping at Amazon, and we also know you love listening to the Shining Wizards. That's why you're hearing this commercial right now. But were you aware that you can combine the two, do all your shopping, and support the show at the same time? Well, of course you can. Instead of going to Amazon.com, go to Amazon.shiningwizards.com and make your purchases the way you normally would. You're going to get the same great low prices, and a portion of whatever you purchase is going to go to support the Shining Wizards. How great is that? You, by purchasing anything that you normally would anyway, is going to support us. That's a win-win in my book. So from now on, when you shop at Amazon, go to Amazon.shiningwizards.com or click the banner on our website and do all of your shopping with the Shining Wizards.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night. This station and hundreds of other radio and TV stations throughout this part of the country are pooling their resources through an emergency network hookup to keep you informed of all developments.
Horns up, everyone. When on the Shining Wizards Network, be sure every Friday to check out Radioactive Metal. Radioactive Metal is one of the longest running podcasts on the interweb. And every week we bring you a fist full of metal, including interviews with all your favorite artists, discuss all the metal news, and feature the best tunes on the air today. So grab a Lemmy, join your cool Uncle Snowy and co-host Aaron in the pit.
Your recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment broadcasting from the current to the way back. Join the impact player Phil Rea and the Portuguese Man of War Choppy for the Turnbuckle Throwbacks Wrestling Podcast. Live every week on rantemradio.com. Get all our episodes over at iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Audio Boom, Google Play, ShiningWizardsNetwork.com, and TurnbuckleThrowbacks.com.
Are you tired of being told what to think and believe by Hollywood elites and politicians who just don't care about you?
Tired of not getting the truth when you watch the news?
Tired of trying to figure out what pronoun to use?
Tired of mob mentality when all you want to do is think for yourself and make up your own mind?
That's where we come in. This is Justin
and Vince,
your host of Inconclusive Breakdown.
We are a weekly anti-PC podcast bringing you entertainment and current event news without any spin.
If you want to truly stay informed on what's going on in the world, then give us a listen every Sunday, anywhere you get podcasts, at least till Zuckerberg and Twitter Jack deplatform us.
And as always, we're proud members of the Shining Wizards Network.
Tired of the PC police telling you what you can and cannot say? Want a show that travels back to the 80s and 90s where the badass hosts have beaten down cancel culture on 3 separate occasions and carried on to gloat about it? Since 2013, The Midnight Jury is that show. Travel back to the malls and arcades, pop in your VHS, and join us where the 80s and 90s return from the dead. Conan, tell them where to find us.
WLWstudios.com, home of the Midnight Jury podcast hosted by Midnight Mike and Calvin Brody.
Also available on all major podcast platforms via the Shining Wizards Network, and join in the conversation on Twitter at Midnight Jury.
What's up, wrestling fans? You want something awesome? Check out Wrestling Night in Canada here on the Shining Wizards Network. We're 3 Canadian metalheads uniting for the love of pro wrestling. Every episode, we go over all the latest news and special events with the odd unique interview as well. So grab a cold one and check out Wrestling Night in Canada, eh?
Are you tired of being uninformed? Together, we can change all of that. Experience a podcast like you've never heard before. You'll gain knowledge, have some laughs, because we believe this is the last AEW podcast you'll ever need. Join us every Wednesday night at 10:15 p.m. on rantemradio.com and Facebook Live. We can also be found on all major podcast forums as part of the Shining Wizards Network. So stop listening to inferior AEW podcasts and bring a new podcast into your life by joining us.
Join the Mark Order Podcast.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Mark Order Pod and on Facebook.com/MarkOrderPod. Don't forget to tag us on social media and use hashtag #JoinTheMarkOrder, because if you don't find us,
we will find you.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. My name is Thomas, and what's your name?
I'm Alan.
Alan.
Yeah. We're brothers.
That's right.
Yeah. Same mother and father.
Your room was...
We shared a room.
Shared a room.
We shared a room.
Thought I knew your face.
Yeah, we go way back, mate. Yeah.
We should do a podcast then.
We have.
We do a podcast.
We do a podcast.
What's it called?
The Broadcast. Yeah, that was planned.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Well, we cover all different things in the world of pop culture. We're talking about comic books, we're talking about professional wrestling, and we're talking about movies. Go back and watch classic retro wrestling events, the likes of WWE, WCW, and if you do like that, you can check us out on Apple iTunes, also on Podbean, Anchor, and on Podknife. Also check us out on Twitter at The Broadcast. That's BROKAST.
The ending. Yeah, it's all right. Good on you.
Yeah. Instagram also at The Broadcast Podcast.
Yeah, but we don't spell it with a C. We spell it with a K.
Sorry, mate.
Take it easy.
And we are back. Kev, how you making out, brother? We good?
Oh, so far so good. Looks like it's all right.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Kev, you know how things could be so much better for you?
How's that?
If you were a Patreon producer, supporter of the Shining Wizards for as little as $1, you'd be happier than a pig in shit.
Oh, and they're pretty happy.
Yeah, for as little as $1, you can continue to support us. Support us all the time on the Shining Wizards Patreon. Not only do you get your name plugged each and every week as one of our producers, the more you give, the more you get. Kev, for just $3, you get access to our entire bonus episode archive. I think we've got 4,000 episodes in the archive at this point.
That's right.
Give or take a few thousand, but it's close enough.
Right there.
$5, we will plug your stuff, whatever you want us to plug. You got a business, you got social medias, we'll plug it all. We don't care, we'll plug it. And for as little as $10 a month, you will become eligible to be put into a drawing to actually partake in something going on the show. We have a guest. You want to ask a couple questions? Come on down, ask the questions. We're playing games. You want to play a game? We'll throw some questions at you for a change. Anything and everything that's happening, you guys can be directly involved. Your chance happens every month at our $10 or more level. Kevin, I think that's a great deal, don't you?
I might do it myself.
And you know what? There's a lot of people that are doing it already. So let's say thanks to those who continue to support us here on the Shining Wizards Wrestling Podcast. We're going to start off with the Queen of the Shining Wizards, Miss Cassie Hummer. Who the fuck is Cassie Hummer? It's Kathy Hummer. Wow, I suck tonight. Manny Crazzo, the King of the Shining Wizards. Danny and Anthony Rusinello, the AOP of the SWP. Sean Toe and Sean Kaleo. Kate the Great Hensler over at Sour Graps and something Traps and Thirst Trap Pictures and Fight Club and On
Thirst
Deck
Trap
IC
Pictures.
and the Mark Order pot. Dude, Kate does too much. It hurts
Yeah.
my brain. I don't
She's
understand.
a big star. Big star.
Matt Garifo, no relation to the KJG. Maddie Mellinger, Christine Friesendorf, Mark Parloni.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Thank you, dude. Kenny Halsey, the Scotch.
That was a
Drinks
gamble.
More.
That was a gamble.
I know, but it paid off, dude. Because you are the fucking bomb diggity. That's why.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
Kenny Halsey, the Scotch Drinks More. Jay Cobb, the Big Cop of Pump, the greatest fucking thing on the Turnbuckle throwbacks ever. Thomas Copps, the Mott Spock. Ooh, I'm going to burp. Ooh, Jesus. Michael Hammond, Matthew Birch, a True Prince of Pro. Braden Berger and the LeBron James, some shit or other. Brendan Haney.
Of Mattel Elite.
Did I mess that up? I don't know.
He's the Michael Jordan of Mattel Elite figure collecting, I believe.
Or something. I thought it was LeBron James, wasn't it?
Oh, LeBron James.
So let me see. Brendan Haney, Kerry Kelling, Mr. Ryan Schlong, the only guy worth listening to on Wednesday nights on the Shining Wizards Network. Asian Joe, David Henry Bauer III, his pal Antonio Hosserman's making experimental music, as always, at Harvestman Records 856.bandcamp.com/music. Let's continue on. Mike Peterson, Rob Humphrey, I Dunk Biscuits, The Daily Smart, thedailysmart.com. Helps you find the latest wrestling news along with up-to-the-minute daily podcasts. Don't forget, we deliver YouTube videos to keep you in the loop. Kevin Rogue from The Art of Pod. Fucking funny, dude. I actually started listening to that show because I haven't exactly had time to get into the podcast, but I've been moving and shaking stuff. Kevin Rogue, definitely your guy. Former Can You Beat That Champ, friend of the show. Check him out. Our boy Roll. And of course, last but not least, William Mercier Jr.
Lives are gonna be in William Mercier's hands. You know what I mean?
Kevin, I do know what you mean.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want to know what we mean, please go over to ProWrestlingTees.com/Shining Wizards. Pick up one of our great Shining Wizards t-shirt designs. You know, there was a little bit of scuttlebutt on the Discord the other day. People are liking the old school retro gaming shirt where everything is kind of digitized. It's got
a great shirt.
That old school 80s font with the C prompt on the bottom for the website. I really like that one too.
So, Tony, I wanted to pitch an alternate shirt color for that. Like, like instead of black in the background, like, can we do like a light blue with the green and the white? I think it'll pop on a light blue type.
Yeah, we might be able to switch that up because
no, I'm not saying get rid of the other one.
No, but Pro Wrestling Tees has all those kinds of options now where you can get like different color shirts and change. Yeah, you could change a bunch of stuff. I'll look into that.
Like a turquoise maybe type deal. So that's what I was thinking about. I really like the idea of having not just black shirts other than Matt's Uncle Creepy.
Just
a great shirt.
Uncle Creepy.
Get an Uncle Creepy shirt today, people.
Of course.
Do it.
I've got one. I need to wear it more often. I definitely need to wear it more often.
It's a gem. Who did that? Did you do that?
The gaming one, yeah.
No, the Uncle Creepy shirt. Did you make that?
Uncle Creepy. Yeah, I put the shirt together, but that was all Rhiannon's design. That was all Rhiannon's design. Boy, Kev.
I think I know what time it is.
This is probably the best time to do this.
Let's do it
now. We
Oh wait,
got
what?
some breaking news. Like I told Kevin earlier, prior to the show this evening, I received our notification from the Can You Beat That Championship Committee.
Uh-oh.
And we do know who's going to be challenging our reigning champion Christian Rocco next week. Let's pull up the video now and let's see what we got.
Gentlemen of the Shining Wizards podcast, this is the unelected representative from the Can You Beat That Championship Committee with a message. We're pleased with the performance of young Christian Rocco, but we detect a slight element of, complaining from one of your own. So the next challenger for Can You Beat That will be none other than the beer drinking, shirt ironing, cell phone in the shower using KJG.
Whoa!
Wow.
Dude!
That's big.
That is huge.
First, I want to send a shout out to the unelected official of the championship committee. A very wise choice. A very deserving choice, if I do say so myself.
Wow.
I'm going to get back in the mix and get back a championship that was wrongfully taken from me against, Rocco Rock is like, he knows it all. So this might be my most difficult test to date.
You know, the weird thing is there were no issues with the committee. This may have very well been a unanimous vote. We didn't get any kind of breakdown. So that tells me that the committee is all in for your challenging for the championship.
Well, I mean, the committee knows talent, clearly. Committee's got a great eye. Committee sees potential and sees greatness and sees intelligence and sees the only true choice in this situation. Now, will I be successful? Who knows? Like I said, Rocco Rock, man, he knows his stuff. So this, like I said, this will be my toughest challenge. And Can You Beat That? Way tougher than anyone else I've ever faced before, including everyone that I've faced before. No need to go down that rabbit hole and ruffle any feathers. It's my time. Rocco's time is up. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now.
Now, will you be partaking in what we want to call the rogue strategy, where you try to let your opponent destroy himself?
Well, that all depends on the topics. That all depends on what I think I know and what I don't. I will, if I know that I know stuff, even though that hasn't always worked out for me before, i.e. Ric Flair winning his first championship at WrestleMania 8. And then I even got the next one wrong, which was what? Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
That is right. That is right. But who else did I get? I think I had Macho Man. Maybe
no, you said Bret Hart.
Yeah, Bret Hart. Yeah, so I just can't get too excited. Can't get too overzealous.
Matt laughing, going, he won it at a house show, really made me piss my pants.
In Saskatoon, Canada. One of my favorite things ever was just on Saturday morning was watching Superstars and hearing Mean Gene introduce the new champion, and it's freaking Bret Hart.
Dun, 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 dun,
like,
dun,
unbelievable. God, what a moment.
Well, Kev, you know who we didn't get to introduce as a new champion this past weekend?
Who's that?
Somebody related to Bret. Good old Natty, his niece. Is that it?
That's it.
It's sort of.
No, that's 100% it. It's the niece.
Well, Kev, we might as well get into it at this point.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's time for the Shining Wizards pay-per-view pick extravaganza thing. Money in the Bank 2022.
That's right.
So, Kev, Money in the Bank 2022 happened this past Saturday. Saturday pay-per-view for the WWE.
It sure was.
And, well, you boys didn't do all that great. A lot of shenanigans and chicanery.
A whole lot of chicane.
Did you get a chance to watch the show?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I watched it. I mean, it was very, very late at night, but I did watch it. And I thought, listen, like all WWE shows, all the action is always good. Like, it's never not going to be good. Again, it's always just comes back to the questionable decision making and having, it's Money in the Bank. It seems to be always that one strategy. Guy loses match, guy comes back, cashes in, and wins. Like that's like Money in the Bank 101, and that's what happened with Theory, which I don't hate because I think Theory is good. I don't think he has as the upside as much as I thought that he did maybe like a year ago, but yeah. So Theory is your male Money in the Bank winner. Liv Morgan, who hasn't, I couldn't tell you the last time she won a match on Raw, and then she cashes in, and then defeats Ronda, who beat. Oh God, who did Ronda beat?
Ronda beat Natty.
That's right. Yeah. So it just makes no real sense, and it's kind of like it's like a cheap. The Money in the Bank, I think, has jumped the shark. I think it's ran its course. If all we're gonna do is see the same thing happen every single time.
But you see, a lot of people were complaining about that, but I don't know. I mean, it's happening more with the women's championship, though. I think historically, which is weird.
And I'm not 100% complaining. Like I think Liv Morgan 201 Jersey, God bless her.
Yeah,
she's got the same area code that I do. So
she's from Paramus, no?
Englewood,
that's it.
I believe.
Always up to no good.
Or Elmwood Park, one of the two.
Oh, Elmwood Park, that's it.
Yeah. And so yeah, I'm never gonna complain about her doing well. It's just that, like, how am I supposed to take her seriously? She comes in and steals the championship from Ronda Rousey, which is the concept of what Money in the Bank is. But that's why, to me, it's a flawed concept. Whereas a guy like Rob Van Dam, who scheduled his cash in and beat John Cena in a match, I wish that would happen more. But I mean, it's happened with Punk, with Del Rio. I mean, Ziggler and Miz and Swagger and everybody, and it just does it. I'm over it, to be honest with you. Edge, even though Edge doing it was unique because it was like literally like the first time. So him coming in after John Cena had a brutal match is actually kind of cool when it happens for the first time.
Yeah, but I think that was also different too, because didn't Vince McMahon come out and like give the whole spiel that Edge is going to challenge him right now?
Right.
So it was more like Vince trying to screw him over and like introduce this thing. But nowadays, yeah, whoever just runs in and hands off a briefcase, and everybody's been copying it, dude. Like NWA did it recently too with that Challenge Series thing, and so many other promotions have done it.
Yeah, like you have like the Feaster fired in Impact.
Yeah.
Which is, it's not exactly the same, but it's
kinda.
It's right there. I mean, AEW did it right with
with the chip.
Yeah, the chip. Get that chip. But listen, so I went 3-3. You and me had the exact same picks.
Yeah, we all have Theory beating Lashley, and Lashley won.
Yes, we all had.
We all had Ronda.
Yes, we all had Usos, probably. No, Matt may have had Street Profits, actually.
I think Matt took the Street Profits. That was his, because Matt went 2-4.
Yeah. So Matt's. Let's see how many. See the banner here on what the actual score. So you are one. My computer has a mind of its own, Tony.
So I'm still ahead. I'm at 110-53, going 3-3. Kevin is one back, 109-54. Also went 3-3. Matt is at 99-64. He went 2-4. Yeah, and I think he took the Street Profits over the Usos. Now we all had. Who did we all have for the men's match? Because Theory got thrown in.
I had.
I thought we all
Rollins. You and me had Rollins, and Matt, I think, had Drew McIntyre.
He took Claymore?
I think.
Oh no.
Is he coming in?
I don't know. Oh boy. So let me see. I'm trying to find his picks. Yes, he took Theory. Wait, no, he took Theory over Lashley, which was wrong. He took Rollins. And we all took Bianca Belair.
Oh, wait. So who did you take in the men's Money in the Bank?
I took Seth Rollins as well.
Oh, I thought we had that one different.
No, I took Seth Rollins.
My screen literally just goes away every 2 seconds. This is
I had Seth Rollins as well, dude.
So then he had
The only thing he got different from us was he took the Street Profits and we took the Usos.
Oh yeah, duh, because he went 2-4 and we went 3-3. Duh. It's only the one match difference.
Yep.
Yeah. Where'd he go?
I don't know. I thought we were gonna get some big grandiose,
Oh, wait, was that him or was that somebody else?
Somebody was called Matt Bitches.
Okay.
So I would assume that was Matt.
Yeah.
I don't think Mims would come back in.
Well, no, because it's funny because I just happened to see Matthew Birch, which is kind of like Matt Bitches. Like it MB. Let's see what. Speaking of Matthew Birch, let's chime him in here and let's see what he has to say here in the chat. I don't think Money in the Bank concept jumped the shark until it became its own pay-per-view. Very good point. When it was a match at Mania, it felt like it really meant more. If that makes sense, it does make sense.
Well, that's pretty much all the gimmicks now. Same shit with Hell in the Cell. Like, why do we
Can you
need
get rid of
a whole
that
pay-per-view?
now? Because I can't get rid of it because my computer is literally possessed.
Yes, I don't get it. I don't like. I'm not a fan of the entire pay-per-view. Like Royal Rumble's different because Royal Rumble's the gimmick, and that is not a match that blows off a feud. That's a match for an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, like Hell in a Cell is a blow off to a feud. It shouldn't be the first match. It shouldn't be 2 people or 4 people or whatever getting in there for the first time. You know?
No, I agree. It's the whole concept of a pay-per-view based around the match, which is really kind of lost its appeal.
Yep.
I mean, whereas Hell in a Cell would have been cool at like, what was it, like Unforgiven, right? Or like like it's a Hell in a Cell match at Unforgiven or whenever the, what was it? Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, or King of the Ring.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, it fits the feud. So, like, if it's SummerSlam, you could have a Hell in a Cell at SummerSlam to like blow off a big feud.
That's right.
That's
right, man.
I don't get it. So that
in.
was. Do we have picks this weekend?
We do I don't know. I don't think so because Ring of Honor is not till July 23rd. Money in the Bank is just happened. I don't think there's an Impact. No, there's no Impact pay-per-view. There's no AEW. No, I do unless Matt has some kooky New Japan stuff.
Oh, like Komatsu Hatsu New Japan something or other.
Maybe. I would love to watch Komatsu Hatsu New Japan.
Oh God. Couldn't even imagine what that is. If
Where'd
it's
he go?
Toru Yano wrestling somebody for the King of Wrestling Cup, then sign me up.
I'm in.
That's what I would be in for. I mean, look. So let's take it this direction. I watched MLW this week, and I was, dude. I mean, no. MLW was not good this week. They pretty much. Oh, here the fuck.
Oh yeah, look at this guy.
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude? Welcome
This
to
guy
the
coming in
show.
hot like a guest or some shit.
Let's see, can I do this? Will I die?
Probably. Knock on
Yeah,
wood.
I would think so.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
What's up?
Are you still working, or are you getting off?
I just left work, and I know you were bothering me today about joining. So I said, let me call.
Well, welcome.
Yes.
All right. Go about your business. I'll chime in.
Okay.
What are we talking about?
No, I was telling Kevin that I was disappointed with MLW this week. We had.
Was it the Sandman and the little guy?
Oh my God, dude! Yes, it was.
What, Microman?
Yeah, dude. All right. First of all, they open the show. Fatu brings in the headhunters, the Samoan SWAT team.
Yeah.
It's Lance Anoa'i and Juicy Finau. Okay, so they got a tag match against 2 of the scrubs from El Jefe, which was just
boss.
what it was. It was fucking ugh. But then we get this 6-person match, and Taya Valkyrie's in it, and Microman's in it, and fucking Lindsay Dorado's in it, and fucking Gangrel is out there again. Fuck Gangrel. Dude, it was so bad. It was, and listen, hot take, Taya Valkyrie, she's not good. She is not good.
Wow, dude. I
She's
disagree.
Not. No, listen, I've been watching Taya Valkyrie a long time. Dare I say, she might be getting into Tyrus territory. She is not good.
Tyrus isn't not good.
Tyrus.
He's just
Tyrus,
like he just now.
he's
If you're
seen
talking
better
about like
days.
I don't care about you territory, then I could maybe see where you're going.
No,
with
dude,
that.
it was, dude, this whole fucking main event was bad. It got 2 commercial breaks again. How does that happen? I don't know. Look, Microman can get all the pops in the world, but he's like Orange Cassidy level. I just don't give a shit anymore.
What if there was a Micro Sandman?
That would be awesome for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks tops. Just like the Macho Midget was cool for a week. And then the second week he came out, it was kind of like, it's over, you know?
There was more than 1 week of the Little Mach.
Yeah, I think there were 2 weeks. Yeah. And then that was it. I was like, nope, not having it. So MLW was a big sourpuss for me this week. Big time.
Big
so
thumbs
Matt,
down.
I take it Matt agrees.
I gave it a thumbs down. I'm sorry.
That's all right, dude. Use your voice. You could still talk, no?
I don't want to interrupt, and I'm driving, and I don't know if this sounds like shit or if it's actually really good.
I'll
sound
tell you.
really
I mean, I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but it doesn't sound great.
Oh, Matt, what's your anniversary?
When's your anniversary?
My wedding anniversary?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's October 4th.
Holy shit.
Wow. How the heck did he know that?
Holy shit. Fucking Mott Spock was right.
I feel like we talked about that the Mott Spock at Ring of Honor.
You listen, you may have, but it came up tonight because Kevin picked a random day in October for like a fireworks day.
Yeah, like how fireworks are just like randomly, and I randomly pulled out October 4th, and then it just turned out to be William Mercier Jr.'s birthday and your anniversary, which we did not know.
Yeah, and Kevin and I couldn't remember being on a boat in October.
No, we remember the boat.
We remember the boat, not that it was in October.
Yeah, that's right.
It was
So there was that.
the week of there was a threatening of a hurricane.
Of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was an indoor boat.
Yeah, but if there was a hurricane, Kevin, we don't go out on the water.
No, you're right, but I'm just saying in terms of, October's not ideal boat weather, but like I said, it was an indoor boat, so it worked.
Do I sound better?
You sound great, dude. Relax.
I can't see you though because StreamYard keeps going away.
I noticed
my computer's possessed.
I don't think I noticed it before, but seeing your face like this, you're getting a little gray in the goatee there, sir.
Oh yeah.
Like big time.
It's the lighting.
Yeah, well, so Matt's gonna be dropping in and out. So let's just leave him to his own devices.
I'm gonna hang up, and if I get home and you guys are still on, I'll jump in on my MacBook.
Okay, dude.
All right, sounds
It'll be
good.
like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe
you're
that'll be right in time for top 5.
Perfect. I love it.
We'll see.
All right,
Let's
great.
be raining. All right. Let me go. I don't want to die.
Go.
Go.
Get out of here.